Good evening, and welcome to Sky Tonight. The waning gibbous moon rises late in the evening and rides high after midnight. It appears 73% illuminated as it moves through the constellation Pisces. Please enable captions in your preferred language to view local observing cities and times. Join us for a guided tour of the entire sky visible tonight. We start the evening by locating Venus halfway up the southern sky, then look almost straight overhead for the Hercules cluster and Vega, while keeping an eye high in the northern sky for the Cat's Eye Nebula and high in the southern sky for Albireo. As the night deepens, we shift our gaze high in the southern sky to the Dumbbell Nebula and watch for Mars near the eastern horizon, all while observing the Alpha Capricornids meteors. Approaching morning, we anticipate the southern Delta Aquariids meteors and Mercury near the eastern horizon, then turn our attention high in the southern sky to see Dipta, the moon meeting Saturn, and the Triangulum Galaxy, before checking almost straight overhead for Algol and the Perseids meteors. We close the night with satellites crossing the face of the moon. Venus is the dazzling silver-white point halfway up the southern sky. It is the brightest object in the night after the moon, dominating the view despite the twilight brightening the horizon. In Los Angeles, the planet culminates at 8:20 in the evening, while in New York it reaches its highest point at 8:40 in the evening, and in London it peaks at 9:25 in the evening. Venus spins so slowly that a single rotation takes about 243 Earth days, longer than its 225-day year. So on Venus, a day lasts longer than a year. It also turns backwards compared with almost every other planet, so from its surface the sun would rise in the west and set in the east. The Hercules cluster sits almost straight overhead in the constellation Hercules. Use binoculars to spot this dim fuzzball on the west side of the Keystone asterism, revealing a packed halo of old stars. At 8:45 in the evening, the cluster is best placed in both Los Angeles and New York, whereas in London it culminates at 9:25 in the evening. Edmund Halley discovered M13 in 1714, making it one of the first globular clusters ever documented by humans. Tonight's featured deep sky object is the Cat's Eye Nebula, glowing blue-green high in the northern sky. Trace the curve of Draco around the Little Dipper to find this tiny planetary nebula, which requires a telescope and steady seeing. The nebula remains above the horizon all night in Los Angeles, New York, and London, reaching its highest point around 10:05 in the evening in all three locations. Deep images show 11 or more concentric rings around it, shells the star coughed out at intervals of roughly 1,500 years, like tree rings made of gas. Vega is the brilliant blue-white star almost straight overhead. As a key point of the Summer Triangle, it is a nearby bright star that was once used as the standard for stellar brightness. This star culminates around 10:45 in the evening for observers in Los Angeles, New York, and London, remaining above the horizon all night in London. In Chinese mythology dating to the Han Dynasty, 206 BC, 220 CE, Vega represents Jinnu, the weaver girl, separated from her lover Niulong, the cowherd, represented by Altair, by the celestial river, Milky Way. According to the legend, they reunite only once per year when magpies form a bridge, a romantic tragedy celebrated during the Qixi festival on the 7th day of the 7th lunar month, China's Valentine's Day. Look high in the southern sky to find the Northern Cross of Cygnus, which is a prominent asterism formed by bright stars. Albireo sits at the foot of this cross and is visible to the naked eye as a warm golden yellow star. A small telescope reveals its sapphire companion beside the golden primary. Around 11:35 in the evening, this star reaches its highest point in the sky for Los Angeles, New York, and London, remaining well below the zenith. Albireo B spins so rapidly that it sheds a disk of hot gas around itself, making it a B star whose spectrum glows with bright emission lines. The Dumbbell Nebula is a greenish planetary nebula high in the southern sky. Look just north of the little arrow of Sagitta in the Milky Way below Cygnus to find this sprawling structure through a telescope. The nebula culminates around 12:05 after midnight for viewers in Los Angeles, New York, and London, staying well below the zenith in each location. The Dumbbell Nebula answers to many names, called the Apple Core in English, the Diabolo in French, and the Hantelnebel in German, all inspired by its pinched, two-lobed shape. The Alpha Capricornids meteors are active tonight, though fading 4 days past their peak. Look halfway up the southern sky in Capricornus for these slow meteors, which produce about 1 meteor per hour. The radiant reaches its highest point around 12:35 after midnight in Los Angeles, New York, and London, never appearing directly above the viewer's head. Mars is an orange-red point rising near the eastern horizon in Taurus. It is visible to the naked eye as it comes up from the east, appearing low in the sky. 2:29 in the morning marks the rise of the planet in Los Angeles, 2:13 in the morning in New York, and 1:34 in the morning in London. Mars owes its reddish color to iron oxide, rust, coating the surface dust, which absorbs blue-green light and reflects red. The same fine dust, lofted into the thin atmosphere, also tints the Martian sky a butterscotch pink. We now turn to the crossings of Phobos and Deimos across the disk of Mars. Phobos makes its first crossing of the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 54 minutes, with the crossing occurring between 8:08 in the morning and 9:02 in the morning in Los Angeles, between 11:08 in the morning and 12:02 in the afternoon in New York, and between 4:08 in the afternoon and 5:02 in the afternoon in London, where Mars is above the horizon. Phobos makes its next crossing of the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 54 minutes, with the crossing occurring between 3:48 in the afternoon and 4:42 in the afternoon in Los Angeles, where Mars is above the horizon, while Mars is below the horizon in New York and London. Phobos makes its next crossing of the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 54 minutes, with the crossing occurring between 2:27 in the morning and 3:21 in the morning in New York, and between 7:27 in the morning and 8:21 in the morning in London, where Mars is above the horizon, while Mars is below the horizon in Los Angeles. Deimos makes its first crossing of the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 84 minutes, with the crossing occurring between 3:31 in the morning and 4:55 in the morning in New York, and between 8:31 in the morning and 9:55 in the morning in London, where Mars is above the horizon, while Mars is below the horizon in Los Angeles. The southern Delta Aquariids meteors are active tonight, now fading past their peak. Look halfway up the southern sky in Aquarius for these meteors, which offer an estimated 7 per hour. The radiant culminates around 2:45 in the morning in Los Angeles, New York, and London, never reaching the zenith in any of these cities. Mercury is a bright planet rising near the eastern horizon in Gemini. It is visible to the naked eye as it comes up from the east, appearing low in the sky. It rises at 4:36 in the morning in Los Angeles, at 4:23 in the morning in New York, and at 3:52 in the morning in London. Mercury's surface is creased by towering cliffs called lobate scarps, wrinkles that formed as the entire planet shrank while its interior cooled. Difta is one of the brightest stars in the night sky, located high in the southern sky in Cetus. Follow the eastern side of the Great Square extended south to find this bright point. Around 4:50 in the morning, this star reaches its highest point in Los Angeles, New York, and London, remaining below the zenith throughout. Difta is a star passing through an important stage of stellar evolution, making it an interesting research object for astronomers analyzing the physical changes occurring in stars leaving the main sequence toward the red giant phase. The waning moon meets Saturn high in the southern sky, forming a close pair. They are visible to the naked eye as a bright duo, with the moon being significantly larger and brighter than the ringed planet. The pair reaches its greatest altitude around 4:50 in the morning in Los Angeles, New York, and London, though it never climbs to the zenith. The Triangulum Galaxy is a pale, sprawling pinwheel neighbor high in the southern sky. Look between Andromeda and the small triangle of Triangulum for this ghostly glow, best seen with binoculars under dark skies. The galaxy is best placed around 5:25 in the morning in both Los Angeles and New York, while in London it reaches its highest point at 4:45 in the morning. The Triangulum Galaxy was probably first recorded by the Sicilian astronomer Giovanni Battista Hodierna before 1654, then independently rediscovered by Charles Messier in 1764. Algol is the white star known as the ghoulish eye of Medusa, located almost straight overhead in Perseus. Look below the W of Cassiopeia extended toward Perseus to watch this variable star dim and brighten overnights. Around 5:25 in the morning this star culminates in Los Angeles and New York, while in London it reaches its highest point at 4:45 in the morning and remains above the horizon all night. The name Algol comes from the Arabic phrase Ras Algol, meaning the head of the ghoul or demon, a reference to the severed head of the Gorgon Medusa held aloft by the hero Perseus. The Perseids meteors are active tonight, building toward their peak in 9 days. Look high in the northern sky in Perseus for these meteors, which are estimated to produce 10 per hour. The radiant reaches its highest point around 5:25 in the morning in both Los Angeles and New York, while in London it culminates at 4:45 in the morning, remaining above the horizon all night in all 3 cities. On this night, 8 satellites cross the moon's disk, and of those, 2 tracks pass close to towns and settlements. We show both. The Tiangong space station makes its first crossing of the night, and for an observer standing on the narrow ground path, the crossing of the disk takes only about 1 second. The ground path runs from near Babamba at 5:29 in the morning to near Kaboko at 6:30 in the morning. The second crossing of the night is again by the Tiangong space station. The ground path runs from near Sao Gabriel de Cachoeira at 5:38 in the morning to northwest of Boa Vista at 5:40 in the morning. The solar eclipse is coming soon. Follow Sky Tonight for details. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Subscribe to stay updated on future sky guides, and I hope you enjoy clear skies and great viewing.
See you next time.